We've powered the computer on, and this is called a BIOS information screen. This screen usually goes by very quickly, so we've pressed the pause break key to pause the boot process so we can take a look. We can see it's detected our CPU, the type of RAM, and the amount of RAM, as well as our 2 hard drives and our DVD drive. On your computer, if the system has trouble identifying your CPU or your RAM, it may stop here and ask you to press F1 to continue the boot process, or F2 or delete to go into the BIOS setup. On this computer, it's delete to go into setup. Before we go into the BIOS, we're going to continue the boot process and see what else comes up before we make any changes in the BIOS. We'll press any key. We can see a Marvel IDE controller coming up. This is an extra controller built into the motherboard. And there's also another Marvel controller coming up. We'll take a look at these in the BIOS. Okay, the boot process has stopped, and it's asking for a proper boot device or boot media. What this means is that it doesn't see an operating system to boot to. And at this point, you would normally put in your Windows install disk and start the installation process. Before we do that, we're going to reboot and go into the BIOS and make some changes. We can press Ctrl-Alt-Delete or the reset button on the computer to restart. We'll press Delete to enter the setup. It says we're going to enter. Here's the main screen of the BIOS setup utility. We can see that the system time and date are wrong, and we can set them using the minus and plus keys on our keyboard. But we're going to leave it alone, and we will set the time and date once we're installing Windows. It's also showing a legacy diskette A, which is a floppy drive, which we don't have installed in the computer. And we can either press minus and plus to change it, or press Enter, which gives us a menu where we can disable it. It shows our 1 terabyte drive on the SATA 1 connection, our 250 gigabyte drive on the SATA 2 connection, and our DVD drive on the SATA 3 connection. And this matches up to where we connected the data cables from the drives to the controller on the motherboard. Now let's go over to the AI tweaker with the right arrow key. This is where you would come if you wanted to overclock your CPU. Now we're not going to get into overclocking in this video. Overclocking is a little more advanced than this video is intended to be. We're considering making an advanced set of videos that cover overclocking and RAID setup. Let's go over to the advanced page. Under the CPU configuration, there is a page of different features you can enable and disable.